Call Loim Yahweh, Ba'asham Hamashiach Yahushai, Ba'asham Hakadosh, Barakatham. This is your fellow servant Tazawar with another lesson. First, I want to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone whom rule well, and from whom we learn His truth. Shalom to you, Akim, who are not in GMS, but are pushing likewise doctrine and spirit and in truth with all sincerity. To you few sisters that are listening and learning, as well as you speckled birds, who are scattered among the nations, looking like those nations. To the 144 elect, and the rest of the hopeful elect, to you I say Shalom. This is a quick lesson on chariots. All right, real quick. Because, again, we keep seeing, they've kind of quieted down a little bit in, like, alternative news media. All right. But now it's to a point where it's becoming commonplace. So this is an example of gradualism, right? To where, at one point you had, these platforms were censoring certain information, right? Or they would just call you crazy or, something like that. Or they would shadow ban you, right? Well, because everybody walks around with a camera and a video recorder on their phone, there's certain shit you just can't deny. Okay? And the chair's been popping up all over the place, left and right, to the point to where now it's almost common. It's part of regular conversation now. Right? So they have been normalized in the media. Okay? Whereas, say, 10 years ago, or hell, even 5 years ago, the sightings were a little more rare. And definitely 7 to 10 years ago, they were still pushing the narrative of fictional beings, fictional characters, or calling people crazy, or it was just like some movie cinema shit, right? Well, not only have the Chariots been making sightings, but I did a video a little while back on the incident down there at Miami Mall, where they said there were aliens that popped up in the mall, right? Well, just the story itself, right? Nobody really went into extreme, like nobody drew pictures, I'll say, right? Because people did go into detail, right? They said that they were 10 to 12 foot tall beings that have materialized, that appeared, right? So I did a lesson on that called apparitions. Okay? It's in the video library. Y'all can look it up. To the point of those beings being interdimensional beings, all right? Spirits. Now, we've seen videos of chariots popping up, and I have a feeling that we're going to see more sightings of uh, what I call angels. All right, these interdimensional beings, these apparitions, right? These spirits. Okay, we're going to see more sightings of those pop up too, because the Lord is starting to visit this place, right? So again, this is not something that's just fixed to movies and science fiction books anymore. Okay, it has become a part of our reality. And let's just say, all right, by hypothetically speaking, let's just say that that was some sort of hoax, which, you know, I don't think that the police and the local authorities and all of that would have reacted in such a fashion if it was just a hoax, or if it was just, you know, what they said, which is teenagers and firecrackers. I don't think that would trigger a response of that magnitude. But uh, the point I'm making is, let's just say it was a hoax. Well, the point now is that they are trying to normalize even the visualization of otherworldly entities amongst people. You know why? Because the angels will start to manifest themselves. That's going to be something happening in the near future. Okay? And people are going to give testimony of that. Okay? The internet will bear witness of that too. This is me speaking as a man, but I believe that. You know, I believe that Yahweh is going to allow men to interact with angels and then give their testimony before they cut the cord on the internet, man. And you may even see some bystanders or something like that get uh get images, possibly. But how do those beings get here? Right? That's the question. So the answer to, are we alone? The answer is a resounding no. But it ain't what you think it is. It ain't a, you know, some, you know, Star Wars or Guardians of the Galaxy type shit, right? As far as ideology, or Men in Black type shit. We're not alone, but these are interdimensional beings and spirits. Now, and their vehicles are the chariots of the Lord, man. So let's get Psalms, the 68th chapter, and the 17th verse. It say the chariots, and it reads, the chariots of God, right, are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place. Right? Thou hast ascended on high, thou hast led captivity captive. Right? Thou hast received gifts for men, Yea, for the rebellious also, that the Lord God might dwell among them. And that shall happen soon, right? Well, we know Yahweh Shai have to return first before he dwells among us, right? But it tells you that the Lord is amongst the angels, right? But the chariots of God, let's get this word, chariot, Rahab, right? Rahab, a team, chariot, chariotry, millstone, riders, millstone. That's interesting because the chariots bring a message, man. And Apostle Tahar didn't coin the term GMS, the Great Millstone. That was a moniker that was placed on the ministry, and they embraced it. The elders embraced it. I just think that's interesting. A team of men. It says a team, right? Chariotry, chariot. Upper millstone, as riding on lower millstone. Riders, troop. Troop of riders. Horsemen, pair of horsemen. Men riding as riders. Camel riders, right? So camel riders or riders of dromedaries, right? Other animals that are in the camel family. All right, and horsemen. Now, horses represent power. So the men in the chariots absolutely have power. All right. And there's one in particular who's going to return with the rank, a special rank. All right. Who's going to do our bidding? And that be Yahweh Shai Hamashiach. All right. But it says riders, troop, a team. Look at that, man. Chariot. What did it say? It say chariot, millstone, wagons. Right? Strong's definition. Rahab. If you see the root word right there, H7392. Then let's go down here and read the definition. Then we're going to go back and see what that root word say. Rahab, right? From H7392, a vehicle. By implication, a team. By extension, cavalry. By analogy, a rider. So, again, when it talks about the rider of the horses, right, or a horseman, all right, Salakia, those are analogies for men with power, powerful men, all right, in vehicles. The upper millstone, chariot, millstone, multitude. From the margin, wagon, right? But what is a chariot? It's a vehicle. So the chariots of the Lord are vehicles, heavenly vehicles, interdimensional vehicles. And then it says what? By implication, a team, because those chariots house the powers, all right? The Alahayim, angels, spirits, angels, all right, that can manifest and materialize down here in our dimension. By extension, the cavalry. What's a cavalry? Huh? That's a small troop. Well, not small, but that's a troop. right? And what does the cavalry do? They prepare for war. All right, a troop and cavalry, those are terms of war. That ain't no group that's going to play no sports. All right, that ain't a group of men that's going to run a lap around a track, drive no car around no track, touch no Sunday night pigskin. That ain't no basketball team, football team, it ain't a hockey team. When you hear troop, cavalry, all right, that means somebody finna get busy. And we ain't talking about knocking boots neither. We talking about laying their hands on people. A team. All right, let's go back. I beat that one to the. Hold up. Let's get this root word. Rachab, primitive root. To mount and ride. All right, to ride. All right. What are we? That's what we call our whips, our cars. A ride. You know what I'm saying? That's old slang, man. That's like 1990 slang or some shit. Early 2000. To mount, and sit or ride. To ride, be riding, rider. To cause to ride, cause to mount and ride. To cause to draw, right? To cause to ride upon, right? Down here it say ride, rider, horseback, all right, carried. To ride on an animal or in a vehicle. Causatively, to place upon. For riding or generally to dispatch. All right. They go another word that we hear usually with some, dispatch a cavalry, dispatch a troop. All right. So, the chariots of Alahayim, right? Of Yahweh, the chariots of Yahweh are 20,000, even thousands of angels. That's that troop, that cavalry, right? The Lord is among them. That's yo, can't wait. Now, again, that's a vehicle, man. Now let's go to Isaiah, the 66th chapter. I'm going to read one and then we're going to jump down to like 14 or 15. All right. It says, heaven is God's throne. Thus saith the Lord, right? Yahweh, that word Lord is Yahweh. The heaven is my throne, meaning he's sitting upon something up there. And the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? That's a rhetorical question. Right? Now, let's go down. It say, let's see. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice. This is Isaiah 66 and 14. So I forgot to call it. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb. And the hand of the Lord shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So when he come with them chariots, man, he coming to do damage. Now you heard when we got that word chariot, it said what? A cavalry, a troop, right? Right? A team. We also know that it's talking about riders, or an analogy of horsemen. Again, like I said, the horsemen represent powerful beings of powerful beings, man. All right, that are riding on vehicles. Now let's look up this term whirlwind. And like a whirlwind, super. Shawa, shawa, pa, shawa pa. It say storm, wind, super. It say super equals honeycomb, right? Overflow, a place east of the Jordan. Honeycomb, whirlwind, storm, Red Sea, tempest. All right, tempest. A hurricane, tempest, whirlwind. All right. So we know what a hurricane and a whirlwind and a tempest is. We know what a storm is. All these things have what in common? Tempest, a whirlwind, and a hurricane. They're circular in nature. Right? And they have astronomical power. Great destructive force. As do the chariots. This is why I say they come in with fire. Right? Let's get this root word. Shawaf. Shawapa. Shawaf. All right. It says to cease, to come to an end, to come to make an end. Right? Consume. Utterly, have an end, perish. All right. So the root word to that whirlwind is to bring to an end, to consume. For behold, this is verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to bring to an end, to consume, right? Like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Those flames of fire are going to be coming out of the belly, right? Or the underside of those ships, of those chariots. The flames of fire, that's those laser beams. All right. Which, I mean, think about it. If Esau can have lasers and use lasers in surgery and in war and in GPS tracking and all of this other shit, That's how your Bluetooth and all your damn TVs and all that shit work. Right? Your phones and everything else, the satellites, all that's done by laser, man. You think the Lord don't have something better or stronger than that? What about the surgical lasers that he used to cut shit out of people or etch metal, right? Laser engravings. That's why it says to consume, right? That whirlwind is going to consume whatever's in its path, man. And all that's going to be left is a burnt fucking piece of used to be. Whatever the fuck was there before. It used to be. All right. Let's grab Habakkuk or Habakkuk. Habakkuk chapter 3, verse 7. Verse 8. Let's start at 7. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. Now remember, I got you those words, right? Chariots talked about riders, horses, right? An analogy of a rider. Talked about vehicles, all of that. Okay? Thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word, Selah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. All right? Cleave means to cut out. But what did he ask in the verse above? He said, were you displeased at the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Meaning what? A chariot can come over there, can hover over a body of water and dry that shit up. Or separate the waters. Just like during the time of Moses. It could part the sea. All right. And those chariots, man, they move through, our atmosphere and the waters and the seas with no effort at all, seamlessly. Because beyond the firmament, man, out in the heavens, man, there's waters out there, man. Let's get one more. But it say what? Thy chariots of salvation. Those chariots, that's the salvation of us, of the Israelites. That ain't salvation for everybody. Because those chariots, that ain't Esau's salvation. He's dreading those chariots. That's why he's so afraid, man. Sore afraid. This is why he's trying to keep an eye on the sky. Right? He got people looking through the damn telescopes all the time. Trying to track where they at, their location. And you can only see what the Lord wants you to see, man. Right? Trying to set up SpaceX. Like you devils gonna have the power to really do something. You know? Let's get one more. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 1. Let's go down to past it. See, I think I want let's start at 14. Right. Point is 16. Let's start at 14, just so you can see. And say, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning. That's where they get the concept of the flash from. All right. And like the comics and all of that shit, DC Universe, Marvel Universe, with people moving so fast they just seem like little streaks. That's where they get it from. They get it from the scriptures, man. 15. Now as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one will upon the earth by the living creatures, right? With his four faces. That will, what shape is a will? It's round. Okay? The appearance of the wheels and their work was like unto the color of beryl. All right. Now, if you ever seen in those movies, they have the chariot or the ship or the UFO or the what they call it now, UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? They have it as a circle spinning, right? Like the outside is spinning around a a center point, right? And the wheels, too, plural, and their work was like unto the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel, right? So that's saying two round disc-shaped objects, right? One in the center and then one on the outside, a wheel wrapped around another wheel. Okay, y'all know what I'm trying to say. That's how they depict them in some of them the movies. When they go up, the outside of it starts spinning, right? It might have lights on the outside. That's what it's telling you. It says, and they four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work, how they moved, right, was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. All right. When they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went, because its land is flat, it's disc, it's round shaped. That's why I say when they went upon their four sides. It went flat. And when they turned not when they went. It don't have to turn. It go any direction it want. East, west, like you don't have to turn like a car. You understand? That's what it's saying. It just move whatever way it want to go. Picture it like the UFO, right? Or the chariot, because that's what it is, ascending off of the ground, hovering. It can shoot straight up in the air. It can move, front, back, side to side, or back down. It operates in all of those planes, right? 3D, plus the fourth dimension, plus the other dimension, right? So it can move on, if you understand math, it can move on an X and Y plane or axis and a Z axis. And then it has a fourth dimension, right? But the fourth side is talking about the roundness of it. And they turned not where they went. As for their rings, talking about the wheel inside of the wheel, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes round about them four. All right. And the living creatures went. The wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up. So the living creatures, right, the spirits got taken up inside the wheels like in a retractor beam. And once the creatures were lifted up inside of those wheels, then the wheels were lifted up. Then the craft, the chariot, then it lifted up. Then it took off. All right. Whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. All right. The living creatures, the spirit, their spirits. All right. And I tell you that those spirits, the creatures of those spirits, they go in the wheel. Anyway, that's a little bit on the chariots and how they work. You brothers and sisters that have eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope this lesson is edifying. You know, those are chariots of our salvation. There's nothing to fear. All right. The only thing to fear would be to not be taken up by them. All right. Anyway, I pray this lesson finds you well, and I pray it was edifying. Until next time, I say shalom.